The journey is everything. My destination, Alpha Centauri Proxima b, a potential Earth-like world orbiting around our intergalactic next-door neighbour. As far as I see it, it is beyond high time we as a species get out there in order to take our rightful place amongst the stars. An impossible dream, you may think, but no, it is not. Other intelligent species do it, so why not us? But in order to take the first step of that journey, we must understand the path upon which we walk. This film of mine is my second step along that path. The first, a good 50-page write-up that I did last year in order to commit my idea to paper that I might communicate it. In the course of that exercise, I watched the cosmic microwave background sky fall into alignment with my idea. My initial hunch in the first months of having this idea was given voice by Susskind's ER equals EPR conjecture. A conjecture at the time has since been shown through experiment to be valid. The sacrament of locality is out the window, ushering in the age of non-locality, and all I see is an invention to generate macroscopic wormholes while doubling as a warp and anti-gravity drive. The age of macroscopic quantum physics is at hand. The first application will be, or is at the time of writing, the qubit of the quantum computer. In taking my second step down this path, I have had to ponder upon the expanse of the temporal void into which our existence is expanding. Gamma rays, at the time of the Big Bang, have now been stretched to the microwave length by the expansion of spacetime inside our jetiverse. Another iteration of my model and suddenly an idea, or rather a vision of the solution I was looking for. A unique vision of light, giving birth to an array of thought experiments as the meditation upon my rendered cross-sectional diagrams of the jet deepens. Two very prized papers have come my way, reinforcing the beliefs and convictions of my arguments. The first is Julian Barber of Oxford University and colleagues' 2014 paper, A Gravitational Origin of the Arrow of Time. This gives mathematical voice via general relativity to my argument that the other jet is our universe of antimatter. All antimatter is normal matter running in the counter-rotation to the direction we travel. The second is a paper that has ignited a fire in the physics community in recent weeks. By J.S. Farnes of, again, Oxford University, A Unifying Theory of Dark Energy and Dark Matter, Negative Masses and Matter Creation within a Modified Lambda CDM Framework. This gives voice in sort of respects to what I just described in my previous section regarding defining dark energy. It has been a very good year for physics, I would say, upon the sceptred isle. But in bringing this film to a close, I wish to leave you with an interesting thought. In fact, I will warn you, this last thought may accidentally cause you to have a major nervous breakdown. You think I'm joking? No, please, seriously believe me, this next thought could cause you to have some kind of major emotional reaction. Well, it did for me. So with trigger warnings and the appropriate health and safety checkboxes ticked, on with the story. I mean, in thinking long and hard about how even to approach an idea or thesis of the kind I now present to you is one I never dared dreamed I would ever make. The only way for me to approach this is for me to tell you my story, and you can make of it what you will. It's in the symbology of my cross-sectional diagrams. On the left is my idea about how two jets come forth from a McLean and in turn break apart into a series of concentric rings. The picture on the right, as you've seen, is the imprint of this concentric ring structure of all creation as discovered on the cosmic microwave background sky. Led by the overt religious vision that was but a dream in my humble imagination, I noticed a curious coincidence. The Arch of Titus, built in the 1st century AD, commemorates Titus Caesar's victories, including the Siege of Jerusalem. Its most famous fresco shows the Roman soldiers looting the Jewish temple. In particular, you can see the 7-pointed candlestick, or Hanukkah menorah, is half the shape of my jet unfolding diagram. Isn't that a bit of an odd coincidence? I thought. I thought so too. In fact, I thought it was just too much of a coincidence that I decided to try and formulate a hypothesis in order to test my idea against. The circumstance was a week's holiday to Hong Kong, where I spent my adolescence on holiday from boarding school in Scotland. The written Cantonese and Mandarin language has thousands upon thousands of different symbols in order to describe the world. Which symbol would then match my diagrams, if any? I searched, walking many miles throughout the streets and countryside of Hong Kong, in a manner no tourist could ever know about. I was back in my old stomping ground where I first learnt about a language called C. But of a match? Not really, my best candidate coming from a red good fortune envelope. There is a moment in your life where once you cross the Rubicon, there is no return. My Rubicon was on the cable car ride up towards the Tian Tan Buddha site on Lantau Island. If I were to repaint these diagrams, I would probably be looking at Buddhist symbology, the concentric ring dais upon which Buddha sits, the dual 7-petal lotus blossom opening, or the 12 divines. It was like watching every pictorial description to these cross-sectional diagrams of mine. Of course, you have to forgive the mess at the Tian Tan Buddha site on that day, as only the other day it was hit by an eye of a hurricane, quite literally. I could not believe it. Here I had just tested the impossible, coupled with a full-blown act of God, a hurricane, and it was not the only hurricane that week. In my teenage years, I have never been in a hurricane or flown out of one. But I guess I was just being warmed up for what came next. How you take it, well, that's on you. I did warn you, and I will warn you again, for my next exhibit is quite the piece. Behold, the AntiGrail of Jesus of Nazareth. This is a Jewish ossuary from the 1st century AD. In fact, we know who exactly it belonged to, given that his name is inscribed on the side, namely, Joseph, son of Caiaphas, as written in Aramaic. This was a man who loved concentric circles. In fact, I love them so much as they are a really great source of inspiration when trying to refine my new argument about light and quantum mechanics. No joke. A second, less decorated ossuary was found in the same tomb belonging to Caiaphas himself. You know, the same Caiaphas, the Jewish high priest that sent Jesus of Nazareth to the cross according to the New Testament? When it came to the symbology upon his ossuary, it's got it all. A 6-sided circle of life, as echoed in E8 emergence theorem on the left, a pillar breaking apart into a series of 7 solid enclosing 6 vacuum spaces, then again a 6-sided circle of life, 6, 6, 6. Or another reading might be a 6-sided circle of life, 1 pillar, and the twin universe echoed on the other side, 6, 1, 6. Though it's this spiral here that gave me inspiration for a conceptual computer model looking at how concentric vortices seeded by a supermassive black hole could seed a galaxy leading to a classic spiral shape. I had originally called my idea the theory of unification and bifurcation when I first came up with it. In one moment, I began to understand the fuss some academics make in regards to wave collapse and conscious thought. And one more thing, these concentric ringed indents are symbols of crucifixion nails. 2 actual crucifixion nails were found inside the ossuary. Though the coin to pay the ferryman I will keep, as I have my orders in hand requesting Carrion's resignation. Until next time, ciao!